I don't read the reviews, because if you get a really horrible one in the, in the first week of the play, it slightly leaves you like this for the rest of the run. So I read everything at the end. So I was aware on the day after the last day, I read everything, and I just thought, this is wonderful. And today is a great thing to have them honour you like this. It's a great honour, and I don't take it lightly, I promise you. I don't think I've arrived or anything, because then you've got to do it again, haven't you? So, but I do think that this is a very nice reward, as it were. My mum would be very proud. I wish my mum was here. My mum died in 1998, and if she were here today, she'd be wearing a very, very big church hat. She'd be very proud. Lots of people would be sitting behind her like this. I can't see, Mrs. Henry. Could you take the hat off? No, this is a church hat. Leave me alone. My son is getting a award.
He lied to me. I told the boy if he wanted to play football, keep up with his chores and hold down that job at the A&P.
But Troy Maxson, the lead character in Fences, is sort of an unknowable person. You learn about him as much from the things he doesn't do as from the things he does. He's a very proud man. He's a fearless man in terms of employment. He wants to be. He's a bin man. He doesn't understand why he's not a driver. How come the white guys get to drive and I'm just slinging rubbish at the back? Why can't I be a driver? Why aren't I? And this is in Jim Crow America, Jim Crow Pittsburgh, where black people aren't allowed to vote, where black people aren't allowed to drive a garbage truck. So Troy is fearless, and we learn that he killed a man. We learn that he had the possibility to be an athletic, wonderful athletic baseball player, champion baseball player, but was rejected because of the colour of his skin. So there's a lot of bitterness there. This is a man at the bottom of the heap who has worked very, very hard to pull himself up so that his house has got electric and a fridge, and he's got a marriage, and he gives his wages to his missus every week. But he's a troubled man because of all this bitterness inside him, and that bitterness comes out in terrible, tragic ways. And so we were led down this path by a great leader, Paulette Randall, who's a fantastic director, who I think she can do anything she wants to do, really. And she certainly put me on the path to it. I would not be here without a wonderful cast and without a great leader like Paulette.
You could do anything you want to do. What are you going to do next?
That's very kind of you to say that. I want to do more theatre. I think theatre is vibrant in this country, and, despite the cuts, despite swinging cuts which are kind of making it very difficult to put theatre on, people are still going, well, we'll do it in my living room. So I applaud the fact that people are doing drama anyway, with or without the cuts. And I see what's happening in the West. A theatre could fall down on you and people still want to see a play. That's major, isn't it? A theatre could literally fall on your head and people go, well, are we coming back after the interval? Blood pouring down their face. But I don't know what happened to the boy. People still want to see the end of the play. This, to me, means that theatre is vibrant, theatre is alive, theatre is educational. We must have more. Let's have more theatre. I want to do more theatre. I want to act in television. I want to act in movies. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock, and I want to do it, and I want to do good work.
Oh, my fair warrior!
But is it hard for a comedy performer, somebody who made their name in comedy, to come and prove themselves? So do you feel that you really had a big challenge ahead of you?
Well, having read all the reviews for Othello, clearly the expectation was that it was going to be a car crash. They all said, we thought this was going to be a complete disaster.
And you proved them wrong?
Well, actually, backstage with a cork up my bum, I absolutely thought it was going to be a disaster. I was very, very frightened and really, really scared. But because I'd worked hard with a really incredibly wonderful director called Barry Rutter from Northern Broadsides, he just made us do the work so that whatever you felt like, when you got on stage, you were in the play. And, when you're in the play, you're in the play. And then 2 hours later, you finish the play. It was an extraordinary, dreamlike experience. And then the work began, because there are moments when you forget your lines and you can't ad-lib. Somebody's phone rings, and you can't do a joke about somebody's phone ringing.
So what do?
You do the play. There was a moment where I knew that I'd learnt something about acting. During Comedy of Errors, some machinery didn't work. We walked on stage, and a whole set was supposed to move towards us, and we were supposed to walk into this set building and go in and press a button, and some doors went like this and you pretend to go up in a lift. You don't, of course. You walk up some stairs backstage, but nobody knows that. It's very clever. But the computer broke down, and I'm standing next to Claudie Blakely and Michelle Terry, and the building doesn't come towards us, and we've got our backs to the audience, and I say, "Oh God, what are we going to do?" And Claudie goes, "I don't know. What do you think we should do?" And Michelle says, "Just keep quiet. We'll find out what we're doing in a minute. I bet it starts working in a minute." But it didn't start working in a minute, and we're looking upstage going, "Why isn't this building moving? What are we going to do?" And something in me said, "You've got to turn around and improvise and mess around until something happens." And I said, "No, you're in a play. You're a character in a play. Antipholus doesn't turn around and do stand-up. We're not in Workington, in Cabaret, doing stand-up. You've got to stay here until something happens." And do you know what happened then? A woman in black came on stage and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we apologise for the delay. We're going to lead our actors off the stage, and when we've righted the problem with the computer, our play will resume." And somebody took my back and led me off the stage, and I went, phew.
Imagine if you'd started telling a few jokes, then you'd have to have been there for ages.
Well, it would have broken the reality of the play, and it would have been Lenny Henry does stand up in the middle of Shakespeare play. And I realised then that I'd actually moved. I'd actually learnt something. I've actually evolved. I'm not that guy. Would have been fun, but I'm not that guy anymore, I don't think. So it was good to learn that. I still love doing stand-up. I still love improvising and messing around with an audience. It's my favourite place to be on stage. But when you're in a play, and you've got to stick to it.